What if I told you that the sound of 80s rock wasn't just big hair and flashy solos, but a revolution that changed music forever? And that one of its most famous riffs was written as a tribute to a fallen friend? Rock in the 80s didn't just grow louder, it went global, cinematic, and pushed technology to its limits. Some of these songs ruled stadiums, others reshaped what rock could sound like, and a few blurred the line between genres completely. One band reinvented itself after tragedy to create one of the best-selling albums ever. Another fused synths with guitar heroics in a way no one had dared before. And one track channeled street-level danger into pure, snarling energy. Who were these innovators? And which songs set the stage for the next era of rock? Stick around, because this is 10 game-changing 80s songs that redefined the genre. Number 1. AC/DC Back in Black. It started with a funeral. In 1980, AC/DC lost their beloved frontman Bon Scott. Instead of calling it quits, they teamed up with new singer Brian Johnson and turned their grief into power. Back in Black wasn't just an album, it was a resurrection. The title track's opening riff, created by Angus Young, is instantly recognizable. Raw, chugging, and built for stadiums. It's deceptively simple, but perfectly crafted for maximum impact. That riff became the backbone of a song that roared defiance in the face of tragedy. Brian Johnson's gravelly voice gave it an edge that felt dangerous, but also triumphant. Back in Black would go on to sell over 50 million copies worldwide, proving rock could come back from the dead harder, louder, and stronger than ever. Without AC/DC's sonic resurrection, the hard rock template for the 80s might have looked very different. At number 2 is Van Halen with Jump. Few songs captured the flashy spirit of the 80s quite like Jump. At a time when hard rock was known for guitar heroics, Eddie Van Halen shocked fans by putting synthesizer front and center. The opening riff is one of the most recognizable in rock history, and it wasn't even played on a guitar. Eddie's Oberheim synth gave it a gleaming, futuristic sound that turned heads and divided purists. But once the soaring guitar solo hit, it was clear Van Halen hadn't lost their edge. Jump wasn't just a hit, it was a manifesto. It said rock didn't have to choose between heavy riffs and pop hooks. David and Lee Roth's exuberant vocals made it feel like pure celebration. By blending synth-pop sparkle with hard rock attitude, Van Halen paved the way for countless 80s bands to experiment with new sounds without losing their edge. Number 3, Guns N' Roses and their Welcome to the Jungle. Welcome to the jungle, we got fun and games. Some bands look ahead, but Guns N' Roses dragged rock screaming back to its dangerous roots. When they unleashed Welcome to the Jungle in 1987, it was like a Molotov cocktail thrown into the glossy world of late 80s rock. The opening riff, written by Slash, is slithery and menacing. Axl Rose's shrieking vocals told a story of Hollywood's dark underbelly, temptation, danger, and decay. This wasn't safe or polished. It was raw, unfiltered, and alive with the threat. The chaotic energy felt almost unhinged, a perfect match for the band's notorious lifestyle. Welcome to the Jungle didn't just revive hard rock's bad boy image. It showed that in an era of hairspray and MTV polish, there was still room for something gritty, mean, and undeniably real. Metallica, Master of Puppets. Some songs don't just make an impact, they change the DNA of rock. Master of Puppets was released in 1986 and remains one of the most influential metal tracks ever recorded. Built on razor-sharp, down-picked riffs by James Hetfield and intricate solos by Kirk Hammett, the song pushed thrash metal into the mainstream without compromising an ounce of aggression. Faster, heavier, and more complex than most rock fans were used to. Lars Ulrich's precise, relentless drumming locked in with Cliff Burton's melodic bass lines to create something massive yet detailed. Master of Puppets was proof that heavy music could be smart, technical, and socially aware, all while sounding like a battering ram. It laid the groundwork for countless metal bands to follow. If you love this dive into rock history, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss our deep cuts and hidden legends. This is number 5, U2 and Where the Streets Have No Name. If there's a single moment when rock music expanded its emotional and sonic horizons in the 80s, it might be U2's Where the Streets Have No Name. Released in 1987, it opens with The Edge's chiming, delay-soaked guitar that feels like a cathedral built out of sound. This wasn't about riffs so much as atmosphere, something spiritual and grand. Bono's soaring vocals speak of escape, hope, and transcendence. It's an anthem built not for rebellion in a bar, but for uniting tens of thousands in stadiums. This track wasn't just another rock song, it was U2's blueprint for global domination. It showed that rock could be cinematic, political, and deeply emotional all at once. Up next is number 6, Bon Jovi with Livin' on a Prayer. When Bon Jovi released Livin' on a Prayer in 1986, they didn't just write a hit, they created a cultural phenomenon. Built on Richie Sambra's talkbox-infused riff and John Bon Jovi's powerhouse vocals, the song tells a blue-collar story of struggle and hope. It's arena rock at its most anthemic, designed for massive sing-alongs. But beneath the fist-pumping chorus was a modern production sheen, courtesy of producer Bruce Fairbairn. With layered keys and massive drums. This wasn't raw bar band rock. It was crafted for MTV and global radio. Livin' on a Prayer proved that rock could be both accessible and meaningful, mixing storytelling with bombast to create one of the most enduring anthems of the 80s. At number 7, we have Def Leppard with Pour Some Sugar on Me. If there's a song that embodies the decadent, high-gloss excess of 80s rock, it's Def Leppard's Pour Some Sugar on Me. Released in 1987, it wasn't an immediate hit, but became a monster thanks to relentless MTV play. Mutt Lange's production turned it into a wall of layered guitars, stacked vocals, and sleek hooks designed to lodge in your brain. Joe Elliott's vocals are equal parts tease and command, while the chugging, infectious riff feels engineered for strip clubs and stadiums alike. This song didn't just embrace pop metal, it perfected it. Pour Some Sugar on Me set the template for hair metal's commercial peak, showing that rock could be dirty, fun, and incredibly marketable. Number 8 is The Cure and Just Like Heaven. Some bands in the 80s didn't get heavier, they got deeper. The Cure's Just Like Heaven, released in 1987, helped define the alternative rock sound that would dominate the next decade. Opening with Robert Smith's shimmering guitar riff and Boris Williams' driving drums, the song is equal parts dreamy and urgent. It's not about aggression, but emotional intensity. Smith's lyrics, both romantic and haunting, gave alternative rock permission to be vulnerable without losing edge. The production is lush without being slick, capturing a perfect balance of melancholy and pop accessibility. Just Like Heaven showed that rock didn't have to be macho to matter. It laid a foundation for everything from shoegaze to 90s, alt-rock, south. At number 9, we have Mötley Crüe and their Shout at the Devil. When Mötley Crüe unleashed Shout at the Devil in 1983, they weren't just making music, they were creating controversy. Opening with ominous chants and thunderous drums, the title track was pure theater, dark, dangerous, and irresistible. Mick Mars's heavy, menacing riff gave it a metallic edge that set it apart from earlier glam rock. Nikki Sixx's lyrics flirted with satanic imagery, while Vince Neil's sneering delivery made it sound like a dare. They weren't actually devil worshippers, but they knew outrage sold. Shout at the Devil didn't just make Mötley Crüe stars. It helped define glam metal's darker, more provocative side, pushing rock to embrace spectacle, scandal, and excess. Last but not least, we have Dire Straits. Money for Nothing at number 10. This was the birth of MTV Rock. When Dire Straits released Money for Nothing in 1985, it was more than just a song. It was a commentary on the very medium that made it a hit. We got to move. Opening with that iconic roaring guitar riff by Mark Knopfler, it's both irresistible and biting. The lyrics, sung in the voice of a working-class skeptic, mock the rock star lifestyle while basking in it. But the real innovation was the music video. Rendered in early CGI, it became one of MTV's defining visuals, pushing the boundaries of what rock could look like on screen. Money for Nothing remains the benchmark for 80s rock's relationship with MTV, self-aware, massive sounding, and inseparable from its video-driven success. And there you have it. 10 songs that helped shape 80s rock into the global, genre-bending, bombastic force we know today. Some of these bands got the recognition they deserved. Others helped pave the way for entire new sounds. Which of these tracks do you think had the biggest impact? Did we miss any game-changing rock anthems from the 80s? Let us know in the comments. Once again, if you loved this dive into rock history, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss our deep cuts and hidden legends. And if you're craving more underrated rock history, check out our other videos like the most overlooked guitarists of all time. Until next time, stay loud, stay legendary, and keep rocking. Lost and lonely, you, strangers.
angels.